I couldn't find any reference to First Street North, so maybe you guys didn't realize that. I mean, I'm not, but east of the rat hole basically is First Street and Humboldt, and I couldn't find any reference to it anywhere, and as far as road condition and recommendations and things like that. So maybe that was missed in the study. I mean, but so
I'm not so sure though that we're just talking about the road. I think we have to deal with the storm sewer, and I don't know how, and it's gonna take an engineer to figure it out, because I don't know how we deal with that, the way it narrows down like it does, and how you catch the water, because it comes.
We got an intake on both sides.
You got intakes on both sides, and it goes around the intakes, because it comes so fast. So you know,
If we could widen the road up, we wouldn't need the problem.
There was, when Schlofeld looked at this, 3-4 years ago, or maybe it was just 2-3 years ago, the structures they put in were pretty considerable because of the amount of water that comes down through that area. And so, I mean, that's where the road, the total road work was, even full depth through construction was maybe around 100,000. The storm sewer was 130,000 because you've got to get a decent size tile in there to take them.
Which is where, if we could ever widen the road out, you don't need any, all that water would come down to the intakes we've got at the bottom.
Right.
We wouldn't need any additional storm.
Because there's no curb, there's no curb and gutter or anything up there, and that's really what it needs.
But Aaron tried to figure out who owned the bridge, and that was an act of God. We still don't even know.
I mean, essentially, there's a lot of people that have to be involved in any solution that involves anything with the bridge, because it was at one point handed to Corn Belt, then it was handed to the county conservation, and so any changes obviously would require a large amount of public opinion or public input, and I know that there's been a lot of interest as far as the historical side of the bridge. So.
It'd be cheaper if we could put a bridge like in Minnesota. They put bridges over all the places for the snowmobile trails and stuff, and it's a not inexpensive, but 50 to 75,000 buys a pretty decent bridge from what I've seen up there anyway. If we could replace that bridge somehow.
Why can't we just take it out? Find out who owns it, because
Well,
then
it's
just slope it
trail.
down.
It's part of the trail.
Right, but you could slope it down on each side, and then people just have to ride down and go across the street. I mean, it's just like anything else, you'd slope it out.
That's come up before, I know that. It's been discussed.
I mean, that's really the only way to widen anything out and have it be a viable solution, is to have that going.
Yeah, you'd have to go back a long ways each direction though
To meet,
to have gradual.
you have to meet wheelchair standards. Like
I would say, we're talking about considering it for the 17-18 budget or 16-17 or whatever. I would consider it,
Yeah.
I think we should have an engineer look at it and,
Do you want to, I guess the big question is, do you want to look at possible short-term, I guess somewhat Band-Aid fixes and see what the viability on any of those are, or do you want
Depends
to?
on the cost.
Yeah, because that's, I mean,
Spend 50 grand on a Band-Aid.
I mean, if it's,
I would rather see us
5 or
maybe.
10,000 maybe not a bad idea.
what's that?
If we could spend 5 or 10,000, maybe if it would hold up for a couple, 3 years. I don't think council wants to spend a lot of money with it.
Could anything be done like was done down at Leroy's Corner, the Blacktop Service did, would anything like that?
I think the water would hurt.
no. I think David's comment was that if you do what happened on Jerry Hatcher, it's probably going to be close to, and this was just flipping the conversation, we didn't even get a chance to walk it, but maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of the same cost, because you're talking about the same square footage. And that's a pretty thick amount of asphalt with a very deep base on it to try and keep that water as far away from the
How much
house.
was that?
It was like 20, it was somewhere between 20 and 30. And he said that, he's like, that'll probably hold up for 15 years, So that would be one way to address it, but then, you have kind of it's not pretty, but it's drivable.
Well, I just drove it before we came, and it's the one spot, the 25 by 40 or whatever it might be in there, and I guess I would look at maybe coring that out, a deep core, and putting something in there that'll get us by 3 to 5 years or whatever.
Concrete or whatever stand up best to them.
I mean, I don't know if that's possible, if it's not feasible, but
Well, why don't I,
Mel, you like that?
I had a discussion with John Wagner about it. John Wagner said for under 30 grand, he can fix it. That block. Now, I don't know exactly, I
you
just
put a
didn't.
bond on that? You put a bond on that?
I'm just telling you, that was in conversation here, and but it's not getting any better. It hasn't gotten any better, and, something, it'd be nice if something can get done. But, maybe John Wagner, discussion with John Wagner, but I don't know, but something, it's not getting any better.
Do we have a little slush from Dakota City to help on?
I'm not part of that part. I can't speak for them.
yeah, I think we should have a little help on that, actually, because you know what, I'll bet you 75% of the traffic is Dakota City traffic. Would you agree with that, Mel?
I wouldn't, there's a lot of
coming
traffic.
down the hill.
I use it every day.
Yeah. Yeah,
And coming to church, coming to wherever, we use it all the time.
right.
But
Don't hurt to ask.
Huh?
Don't hurt to ask.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
I can say is no.
Maybe they got more money in their road fund than we do.
Maybe it's all that new tax money.
There you go.
I can ask Donnie that.
So I would say, take a look at it.
Look at it.
At least
Okay, so I guess you kind of,
part of
we
it.
need to get together and just see what's viable and what's not anyway, so. Okay, all righty. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you.
All righty. It's a mild topic compared to the next one.
Is it gonna be?
Discuss popcorn stand on Sumner Avenue. I can remember this when Jim Vermeer sat there. He brought that up, and it went downhill from then on, and that was the end of that. So,
My question is, who owns it?
we talked about that last time.
If the city owns it, and it's in the city right away, I think it needs to be taken down.
The city, it is in the city right away.
Or jack it up and level it out, one or the other.
Well, it has not been open the whole time.
Wasn't there,
Actually, it was.
wasn't it a guy who worked for Jerry Cram that originally owned it or something way back?
I know it used to run.
No, Jerry got it from that guy that had it. But it was open a couple of years ago, it was open like for a day or something or whatever, just nothing, but it, not been open much anyway, I know that.
Last week must have been the week for conversations because it was nice and people were out and about and they complimented the council, mayor, city administrator on the job we were doing in other areas of town on enforcing the ordinances and people looking at their property and things like that. And then they said, in the next breath, well, then what about, this issue here where we've got this, shed downtown after they drive down, our new Sumner Avenue Hill and go across the bridge and look at the, the wonderful veteran
Because I don't
look
think,
and stuff.
we
So
own it. We kind of went through that when Jim kind of was on that deal, and we didn't, because we couldn't, that's when Jim kind of found out that he couldn't touch it anyway.
Well, that's essentially what I'm looking for from the council, is do you
I guess
want
I
me to
would-
start using legal resources to see what avenues are available to address the popcorn stand?
If it's not gonna be utilized and maintained,
I would say yes.
I would go ahead with it.
if it's not gonna be a viable business, and it's not gonna be maintained properly like we're expecting everybody else to do with their property,
exactly, Joel.
then
Yeah, can't have a double standard. I mean, if it's gonna be.
And if the popcorn popper doesn't work, you have to get out of it.
That's right. If it does, you would.
I just know how much of a hot topic this is, so I want council direction.
We could move it over by the ice skating rink, so all the people who use that, and they can
Yeah,
use the popcorn.
that's-
machine.
put it on the back, on the north side of the, yeah.
It's your sister's will do that.
So,
All right, you got your marching
there
orders.
we go.
Oh, gosh, since I was a kid.
really?
That popcorn stand?
Since I was a kid.
Oh, before that project.
Landmark.
Because I could,
Well, that was part of the deal, was they talked about historical deal and stuff even.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was the historical society once.
Yeah.
Move it out, move it out,
let's move it out there,
Yeah,
or have them move it out there.
well, it had some,
or move it to John Brown Park or something.
No, it's not going in.
So you're gonna do some research on that then, and see what we can do that, so. One way or another,
Sounds good.
we can either make them fix it, or we can fix it, I guess that's another two choices, I guess.
okay,
See what we can do.
thank you.
Alrighty, under resolutions, we Need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-31. A resolution approving plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the construction of a sledge holding tank cover at the wastewater treatment plant for the city of Humboldt and directing other bidders.
Just formally approves the digester lift plans and specs considered in the public bidding.
So move.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-32. A resolution approving the fire protection agreements between the city of Humboldt, Iowa, city of Dakota City, Grove, Corinth, Beaver, Weaver, and Rutland Townships effective July 1st, 2015 until midnight, June 30th, 2017.
These fire protection agreements were held flat for the next 2 years in the budget and in the agreements that were sent out, because it appears the costs are fairly allocated between, at this point, between the townships and the cities. There's only one missing. The city of Rutland is requested to get the agreement again, and so we'll get that passed before July 1, so that they're still covered.
Can I make a comment on that? I was looking at those agreements online, and the Rutland and the Weaver Townships, they were signed, but they weren't dated, so I don't know if that.
They
means-
actually will be dated today,
That's what I was wondering.
because they'll be, after the mayor signs them, then they'll be in effect.
Okay,
So
that's what I was just wondering.
They
because
just filled in dates on when they signed them.
When they signed them
A couple of
initially,
them did,
okay,
yeah.
because I didn't think they would be, actually legal documents if they didn't have a proper date on it. Okay,
They'll be legal anyway,
okay.
but the actual official date will be actually July 1st, because that's when they go into effect.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-33. Resolution authorizing submittal of an application for financial assistance to the United States Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, and its purchase of fire department equipment.
Just formally approves the USDA Rural Development Grant application considered in the public hearing.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-34. A resolution approving pay estimate number 3 with Blacktop Service Company of Humboldt, Iowa for the roadway system maintenance project in the amount of $17,047.20.
This is primarily sidewalk work from the fall and some of the first work completed this spring. The crew is moving along well, and the dry weather has helped the project progress quickly.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Rusher.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-35. Resolution accepting the bid and authorizing the purchase of a wheel loader for the city of Humboldt Street Department.
Let me pull up the, unfortunately, in the notes, I did not do a very good job explaining that, so I'll pull it up here. So-
Okay.
Here are the bids. We got Murphy Tractor with, had the Deere at $135,439. Titan Machinery with the case had $138,980, and CAD came in at $176,162. Total budgeted amount was considerably higher than this, so the bids came way way lower than what we had expected. Reviewed all the bids, and the recommendation is to move forward with the Deere from Murphy Tractor. I think Chris took a look at it and went out and drove one of the county has Deere for their wheel loaders, and was pretty happy with the product.
And that'll accept our new snow blower and stuff, everything's good for that and stuff then, so.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Time frame on that? July, or what are we talking time frame?
Well, the loader probably here in June, but you want to pay for it after July 1, correct?
Yeah, so we always put a requirement when we bid this early, is nothing till July, so. Yep.
We need a motion to to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-36. Resolution proposing the vacation of a parcel of land in the city of Humboldt located in Landover Land, second addition to the city of Humboldt, Humboldt County, Iowa, commonly known as Lot 5, Landover Land, second edition, and affixing a date for the public hearing thereon.
This is a piece of land that was platted by Jim Grobeck for the, it's called Landover Land Second Edition. It's the land right next to the quarry on 169. It was split into 4 chunks, or 4 parcels, and the top 3 had to have a dedicated city street because they only had 1 driveway for 3 parcels. So for the other 2 parcels to be viable and sold separately, they had to have a
Like an access road? Or?
yeah, essentially it's like a low frontage road. But this land is actually being sold altogether and being constructed on, and the building's being constructed altogether. So there's no need for this section anymore. There was never anything developed, there's no utilities put in that area. It was platted maybe even a year and a half, 2 years ago, so nothing's really ever come of it. So I think in this situation, I asked the city attorney, I said, is this even the city's for consideration? Because we never accepted anything, we never really did anything with this except the plat. And he said, you know, the best procedure is to go through and vacate it. I don't believe it's similar to some of the other areas that we've vacated and charged like $3,000 for, because I don't really think this was ever ours, and we never had any intent of doing anything with it. The land is being sold to Mitch Fridolfson for construction of a shop and
A retail store. Mhm.
So, and then as part of that, we're working on a agreement that would state that none of the other parcels that were to be accessed by this road could ever be sold separately. So while they might be separate parcels as far as the plat, they would be joined and restricted from ever being separate owners. So with that in place, then I don't think there's any reason to hold on to this parcel. So we'll end up going through the same process that we do with any vacation and conveyance.
I would move to approve.
Roll call vote.
Slater?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
That's the last of our skeletal items. Aaron?
Just to run down a few things that I've been working on. Let's see. The hangar is nearing completion. It is essentially completed, but we've got just a few punch list items to work on. They have to clean it up a little bit around the outside. Goldfield's actually running